Hi guys, my name is Megan Marini. I'm the founder of the Boston Men's Group. And I'm tuning in today because I wanted to tell you the story of why I started the men's group. And there's obviously like this answer that's very much about the market, and it's really time and things like this, right? Men were asking, numerous men had asked me if there was anything like this in Boston for guys. And that stuff all happened, right? It was all sort of surface. But I wanted to speak a little bit to really my personal story and what brought me to this work. So my dad was a really fantastic, magnetic, and charismatic person. Like he would begin talking and everyone, he'd have the room for 45 minutes. And I've always been really enamored with people who have that skill. And I think I sort of picked up a lot. My dad also ran his business from the home. So I think I picked up a lot from my father through the years on that stuff. He had really good taste, right? So he had like a Porsche, and he'd be drinking he'd be talking about Beaujolais for 2 hours at dinner with like his friends over chess. Like he was a really fascinating guy. He was an outdoorsman and he was a Marine. And for all the love and fun that we had, we also had some tough times in my house. And I was the oldest, so I think in many ways I took the brunt of some of it, or I felt as though I wanted to be more of a sort of protector from my mother and my brother and sister. And just in a nutshell, my dad, as amazing as he was, and now he's in heaven, God bless his soul, he definitely struggled with some mental things that were undiagnosed. He had paranoia. I would say he had some depression, and he definitely had some addiction issues that in his generation, or perhaps it was his just upbringing, it wasn't the thing to do to get help. Like when he broke his knee, sure, he went to the hospital, but this type of thing, he would never go see a therapist or talk to someone or even say, this is something I need to explore. He would say he was a non-capitalist Buddhist is what he would say as well, which is kind of interesting that he was studying psychology like that, but not going deep enough to get any help. So we as a family unit, of course, suffered from this. And I think the undercurrent or underpinning of Boston Men's Group is very much about normalizing getting help and being able to realize that it's not a character flaw to be imperfect or to need help. And as amazing as my father was on so many levels, he would have had a more satisfying life if he had known, or if he had been invited by the right person, perhaps, or maybe he had seen the right documentary or had been introduced to Boston Men's Group, that perhaps our entire lives would have been slightly shifted for the better. So that is really what provokes me personally and what I'm driven to do here. And you're going to hear a lot about soft skills and a positive masculinity. And these are the effects, right? If we look at the cause and we go to the root at why there even is the word toxic masculinity, I would theory, or what I posit is that the way we educate our young men and as men develop, previously we have expected men to behave in a certain way. Men for a couple hundred years now have been rewarded for certain behaviors. And even today, young girls have 70% more breadth in their emotional vocabulary than young boys do. So we're training our boys and our men to lock themselves out of this potential and ability to express themselves. So where does that go? It turns into anger, right? It turns into fear, to have to man up, to always having to outperform others, to be hyper-utilitarian. All of these deep-seated points of pain for manhood, I believe, is at some of the root of why we have this toxic masculinity. And and this crime rate and rising depression among men, rising suicide among middle-aged white men. The situation for the men of color is very unique and further nuanced and very painful in many ways. And then we have all of these successful men that are killing it that maybe just need to learn more about what everyone else's experience is, right? So there's all of this stuff is happening. And here I sit being questioned, you know, what are you doing? What is this woman doing? And I think that it's perfect, and it's totally honest, as my buddy Johnny Doherty said down in Washington. It's just honesty. It's like we are ready now. Everybody is ready to change. And the Boston Men's Group is creating a safe space for guys to heal and to take the guard down and come together. And yes, we will up-level our soft skills. And yes, we will showcase men who are doing the work and representing a positive masculinity. And I hope we'll also help some guys realize it's okay to get help if you need to in any area. So I feel really, really blessed to do this work. And yeah, so this month, I will say, let's invite some new guys in. We're running a special $50 off membership for the month, and that gets you into the weekly open office calls. So you can imagine like having a team of peeps rooting you on, coaching you each week. So you'll gain some accountability and you'll connect with the network. We do quarterly socials, and then we're doing a members only boat ride on June 1st, which is coming up really soon. So definitely get your membership this month, plug into this boat day. It's going to be a blast. And then our next networking event is June 19th. If you guys want any information, I'm happy to hop on a call, as well as go to the website, which is bostonmensgroup.com. And then we're all over social media as well. So I look forward to working with you and also hearing from you.